Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Kickback presents the All Memphis post game show, where we recap, breakdown, analyze every Memphis Grizzlies or Memphis Tigers basketball game the night of. You ain't gotta wait for our takes. That's the slogan. Boom! You ain't gotta wait for our takes. Per usual, it's your boy Jamal here with me, Mase. Mase, man, what's going on? How you feeling?
Hey, after a win like that, I am feeling great. Been basketball on TV all day long. It's conference tourney time. You know, the time to really tune in to college basketball if you're like me and pay more attention to the NBA most of the season. And then the Grizzlies are playing well and continued their good play coming out of the All-Star break. So it doesn't seem like the guys went too hard. Came out with a good win against the Wizards team that has won 8 of their last 12, and 2 of those losses are to the Grizzlies. So I'm doing well, man. How about you?
Can't complain. No, I took the All-Star break off, rested my legs, hung out with the wife, did some family things, just took advantage of the break that we had. So it was good. All-Star break was good to me. But like you mentioned, the Grizzlies had a game tonight. They played the Washington Wizards in the grindhouse right down the street. And it was almost not a wire to wire win because I think the Wizards scored first, but the Grizzlies were up pretty much the whole game, except for a little bit in the third quarter. But it was a great performance from the Grizzlies tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it was overall a dominating performance, and it started early. Desmond Bane, who remained in the starting lineup because Grayson Allen is still out with the concussion. They said that they want to get him one more 5-on-5 practice before he's back in the lineup. So we'll see when that is. I'm not sure how much practicing they're going to be doing because they're playing every other day. So I guess that means that they do intend to at least run some 5-on-5 early on in the second half of the season here. And then, of course, I guess before we even get into the game, the most sobering news of the week was when the Grizzlies PR tweeted that Jaren Jackson Jr. would remain out. And then Taylor Jenkins followed it up with some comments that, pretty vague, but basically like, we can't wait to get him back to finish the season. So table on Jaren's return, hopefully it's sooner rather than later, but anyone who pretends to like speculate like they know is just really just guessing right now. Even the closest sources don't seem to have any idea of when he could come back. Vernon went on like a 15-minute tirade about it today. Chris Harrington has said that, he really has no idea, and those are 2 of the most plugged-in guys you're going to get around the Grizzlies.
If Vernon is visibly upset and mad, then it's really because he doesn't know. Like, Vernon usually plays a role of the insider that knows but doesn't really know. He plays it so much better than John Martin because John Martin knew everything that was going on within the inside the Memphis program when Mike was there, but tried to act like he didn't. So if Vernon is really mad about it, there's reason to be upset. Like, it's kind of the same thing that they did with Justice Winslow, kind of give you breadcrumbs along the way in their recovery, but we don't really know. I mean, my prediction was wrong. The last show against last Grizzlies game against the Bucks, we were kind of recapping it. I said that Jaren's probably ready, that he would just kind of hold him back.
Which still could be true. Could be true.
We might hope. I mean, I think I said we'll see him in the first week, if not the first game. I'm going to go back and listen and see if I said that. But we play every other night. So you got Denver coming in here on Friday. And when does he get back? Now, Campbell make a decent point in the I don't know if he's trade bait, but and I definitely don't think we want LaMarcus Aldridge, but the Spurs is like, this NBA season is crazy. Like, people are getting bought out and traded, and it's adding that to COVID. It's almost like an NBA season we haven't seen in a while. It is like NBA season. Like, these aren't just regular 10th and 12th man getting bought out. These are superstars or past superstars getting bought out and going to another team.
No, man, this ain't no different than normal. It's old guys who are washed up getting bought out and going to go and do minimal contributions for a team in the playoffs, probably going to lose in the first or second round, not counting Blake Griffin, who joined the Nets. But, yeah, man, this is normal run of the mill. We just didn't have it last season, so I think you forgot what it's like. But anyways, I want to just
I was trying to like give it some pop, you know what I'm saying? Give it some pop, man.
Nah,
Blake Griffin going to the Nets. He's such a Blake Griffin. That's such a Blake Griffin move. It's such a Blake Griffin move. But anyway, continue. Go. Let's talk about this game. Let's talk about this.
All right. So, anyways, Desmond Bain came out, hit 2 threes. He was starting in place of Grayson Allen, and I would venture to say at this point, Grayson Allen's not going to be starting and probably not going to be playing over DeAnthony Melton. So we'll see when he comes back. But Grizz jumped out to a 17-9 lead, and we were really just attacking the paint. Ja had 8 points. I think JV had 6 early on. I mean, we shot 63% in the first quarter, only shot 3 threes. We made 2 compared to the Wizards, who shot 10 threes, and they only made 2. And we had just under, I think we had 28 points in the paint in the first quarter. And we average in the mid-50s. So you're halfway there in the first quarter alone. Closed the quarter with a 35-26 lead. And, I mean, not a whole lot to take away from the first quarter. You have anything you want to mention? And then early in the second, it was more of the same, really. Bradley Beal got nothing easy all night, whether it was Dylan Brooks, Desmond Bain helping out, who seems like he's making strides every game defensively, just knowing where to be, because he was covering for Dylan. Like, Dylan's just getting beat on the ball, and Bain is there to help out off of his man. So I thought the defense was really on a string tonight. I thought Valanciunas did a pretty good job defensively, especially with rim protection. We switched it up in the third quarter once Bill kind of hit a couple shots and stopped the drop coverage and brought Valanciunas up to hedge more on the screen. So all in all, a great defensive performance from the starters and then the bench too.
I wrote down, like, they shot 63% in the first quarter, 63% shooting in the first quarter, which was amazing. Obviously, the points in the paint could not be, like, you couldn't ask for anything else. And so there was a tweet. I actually think the Grizzlies Twitter account tweeted it to Grizzlies PR and asked if the Grizzlies were leading the league in floaters. And the Grizzlies PR is like, yeah, the Grizzlies are the number 1 team for floaters in the NBA, and the team behind them is like 35 or 40, maybe 40 something floaters behind them. So our guards live in the paint, our bigs are in the paint. We score the ball in the paint.
I mean, whoever is coaching these floaters is the best floater coach in the NBA, because this is not something all of these guys had in their game. Like, it's something that has been added to their game and continues to get better.
The one thing I used to think that I called this man the godfather of floaters, Miles Simon. Like, when Miles was in college and Arizona won the national championship in '97, Miles was like mid-range floater king. And so when we used to play pickup and shit, Miles would be hooping, throwing the floaters up, like, yo, float king. Now I see these dudes just like left-hand floaters, right-hand floaters, floaters off the backboard, floaters like straight, like this. It's amazing. Whoever did that, like I said, that floater coach, pretty good. One thing I was also very impressed with on the offensive end, no real wild Dylan moments in the first quarter. You know, Dylan likes to come out like his pants are on fire every first quarter. He didn't do that much on the offensive end. He picked up, he on defense, you never know what to expect from him in terms of like fouls and how he plays. But he seems to get really locked in some of these matchups. And I think this matchup against him and Bradley Beal is one of the matchups that he gets locked in. Like, he knows from the first time that Bradley Beal kind of respects him on the defensive end, because Bradley Beal mentioned it about how Dylan was all in him. So Dylan had to show and prove again tonight. And you could see them they were always like talking and not jawing at each other, but just talking. Like, every time the camera would cut to them, they're standing next to each other, they were talking, doing whatever. So it was interesting to see that. And even
I mean, since this team has gotten healthy, Dylan has been locking up whoever he's going against when he's not having to be the main offensive guy. This is the second time in a row he's held Bradley Beal below his average. I mean, this is the leading scorer in the league, and he held him 12 points below his average. He was 0 for 6 to start the game, and midway through the second quarter, Bradley Beal, their best player, is a -17. He didn't get his first field goal until 5:30 left in the first half. So, and like when he was catching the ball, it's like towards the end of your workout, like you've already been through the jab step this and then that. And like, it's when you're at the final move and you're like, when the hell would I ever use this move? And then you finally use it like once in a game and you're like, okay, that now I know. But he was like at the very end of his reads offensively every time. And Stats Sack on Twitter, Sean Coleman, who's great with the statistics, pointed this out. And you talking about Dylan made me think of this. He said, for the first time in more than a year, Dylan Brooks had a game where he took 7 or less shots, yet he led the Grizzlies with a plus 22 tonight. So there you go. No wild Dylan shots.
Dylan only took 7 shots tonight?
Yeah, he said less than 7 shots. So let's see. Dylan Brooks took 7. Yeah, he was 4 for 7, 1 or 2 from downtown, 1 or 2 at the line. 10 points and plus 22.
There are first quarters where Dylan shoots more than 7 shots. Like for him to do it, just and like I noticed a little bit of paid attention to how everybody was moving physically from this. What was it? 6 days off. They played on Thursday of last week or Wednesday of last week. Thursday. So like 5 or 6 days off. Everybody looked fresh. Who looked really fresh? Russell Westbrook looked really fresh. He had a spring in his step. I agree with you on that, Campbell. Like in the hierarchy of shots, Dylan probably only need. I like how you call him 24 too. Dylan probably only needs to shoot 10 to 12. Actually, I would even raise that up. I would give him 12 to 14, 12 or 13 shots a game.
But, a lot of the worry early in the season and last season was, can Dylan tone it down and be a role player? And I think this is a perfect example of him doing exactly that. So hopefully that continues. There's still been plenty of times, even over the last 3 weeks, when he's been playing really well, shooting like 45%, almost 40% from 3. And you're going to take that from a wing almost any day. But I think he's starting to alleviate those concerns. Will he still have moments where he feels like he needs to get us a bucket? Yes, but that's also what you love about Dylan. It's kind of the irrational confidence guy. Bill Simmons always talks about that. Like, you need one of those guys on your team, and we feed off of his energy. And one more thing, he did this in the fourth quarter. He got a stop on Bradley Beal shooting in the corner. And then he got out and ran the lane, and he finished the break with a layup. And he did that a couple possessions after Desmond Bane had done the same thing. And I'm just so impressed by the wing play this game and really over the past couple of weeks. And then you go to the bench and you bring in DeAnthony Melton and Justice Winslow. And so you're not slacking on defense, and the offense is just a whole little different look, but there's still offensive production to be had from those two.
That's what I one of the main points I wrote down on this, and with Bradley Beal going 6 of 22, like we have great defensive depth. That you start with Dylan on somebody, and then you can take Dylan off. Bane can come in a little bit because he got the body to bang a little bit. Then you go from Dylan and Bane to Justice, who is a bona fide wing defender, and then you got DeAnthony Melton coming in too. So like, in terms of guarding that wing player that most NBA teams have, that special wing player, we got bodies to throw at them, and we can. And however, in all of these guys have different defensive strengths, so you can play them in whatever kind of way you want to. Which is that's a great thing to have, man. Like this team is. I don't know. J.O. texted me and said I really got to get in my mind that the Grizzlies are a good team now. Like I really have to convince myself that they aren't the Grizzlies of old. And right now, I mean, 17-16, obviously, they beat the teams they're supposed to beat, which is half the battle. Like, you're supposed to beat these teams, and then you get a couple wins against some teams you're not supposed to get. Like, the Grizzlies are a good enough team right now, and it's pretty good to see.
Yeah, and they're a good team because of this defense. Like, we saw that when they weren't playing defense, they weren't able to win games, but everything feeds off their defense, their overall team energy, their offense a lot of times. Tonight we had 27 fast break points. They only had 16, but we weren't forcing a lot of turnovers tonight. They only had 9 turnovers, and we only scored 10 points off those turnovers. They actually scored 23 points off turnovers, so they outscored us by 13 in that aspect. But our defense was really good despite not having turnovers. Like, there was one stretch in the second quarter when we let them close the gap. We went into halftime with a 67-62 lead, but Russell Westbrook was just going right by Ja Morant. and getting into the paint and kicking out to shooters and basically doing what Westbrook does. And so if we do have a weak point on defense, it's still John Morant and Valanciunas in the pick and roll.
It's in the midway through the second quarter, man, the refs ruined the flow of the game. They blew. Yeah. I didn't count how many consecutive times they blew the whistle, but it was probably like 5 or 6 straight possessions where they blew a whistle and went to the free throw line or something. It just kind of ruined the flow of the game. And that was in the midst of the Wizards' comeback. So they were getting free throws. We were getting free throws. I think so
there was 36 overall free throws. They got 16, and they made 15 to 16, and we were 14 to 20.
That's too much in the first half of an NBA basketball game. That's like a college basketball game where you just have a very tight whistle.
Yeah.
But I think, man, in watching it, like I think they said it on the broadcast, and it's something that we've all noticed. Closing out quarters is something that this team really has to focus on. And I believe that part of that is the lineups that are out there. You know, you got to have the right people out there to help you close out some of these quarters. And then, you know, they came out in the third quarter, like that was the second quarter,
67, 62 at half. And then the third quarter was basically ugly there for a while. They took Westbrook posted someone up, faded away, hit a jumper, and they took a lead 74-73. And it feels like that was the score for about 2 or 3 minutes. Just another offensive drought by both teams. And then DeAnthony Melton got an and one, missed the free throw, and we were up 75-74. And I think we got to give some credit to this guy because, one, he was dominant tonight. We had asked him to pick it up when we were going into the break. He came out tonight. He was dominant, and he made a play and really just got the team fired up to take the lead. And because we had a 19-point lead in the first half, they whittled it down and took the lead. And then Ja threw the lob to JV where he dunks on Wagner. And this is after they had both gotten technical fouls. And he goes up, catches the lob, puts him in a headlock, and dunks it for the and one. And gets the hypest I've ever seen Valanciunas get, chest bumping people. Brevin said he almost hurt Brandon Clark.
Like I don't know what was being said on the court, but he was like a different person. Like he was very, very aggressive. And it was good to see. That's what we wanted to see against this team the first time they played them a week and a half ago or 2 weeks ago, because we knew they didn't have any inside presence. So like a 20-20 game, with almost a 30-20 game.
Oh, he missed a free throw at the end, man, for the 30-20.
30-20 game against this team. Yeah. I mean, I don't think we expected 30-20, but you definitely should have had 15 rebounds, like 17, 18 points, because this team ain't got nobody that can even be close to stopping him. So it was good to see Jonas do this, and he's going to have to continue that. We're not going to get 30-20 every night, obviously. Like you got Jokic coming in here on Friday. You ain't going to get that same look. But it's good for him. It's good to see him being aggressive. It's good to see him being so energetic. And I don't know. He likes, like, I think Pete said it, like, it's not a United Nations down there because the Wizards had a bunch of foreign players. And I know Wagner he's foreign, right? I know he played at Michigan, but is he? Where's
Germany,
he
I think. Yeah. I want to say Germany.
So boom, I don't know if he gets up to playing against foreign centers or, whatever if Jonas does, but it was something because he was all about it that third quarter. He was like, yo, give me the ball. And then, yeah, it was all about it.
Well, and he felt like he started the game off good. I think he had 15 and 8 at halftime. And then he felt like he didn't get a couple calls go his way. But a lot of those Euro guys that they do get up when they go against each other. Like Mark used to do it, Jokic does it, Vucevic does it. So and those guys grow up playing against each other for their country. So they're kind of like bred to hate each other. Because it's just like AAU here, except in AAU everybody became friends. Like when we were growing up, like you hated whoever you were playing against. But huge night from Valanciunas, like you said, 29 and 20, 9 of those rebounds offensive. So 9 of our 14 offensive rebounds were by him, and I'm sure he scored most of our 22 second chance points. And then he had 4 blocks. He was a beast defensively tonight. So yeah, after that dunk, basically the Grizz started getting out in transition. Justice had a nice pass to DeAnthony, where DeAnthony went up and under, finished with the left hand. We also saw Milton throw basically the 3/4 court lob to Ja, where Ja caught it and turned his body while getting fouled and tried the shot attempt. So he got 2 free throws, only made 1 of 2. I mean, if we have any gripes about the game tonight, it's got to be we had 15 turnovers, which is more than you would like, more than this team usually has, and we couldn't hit free throws.
We couldn't hit free throws. Ja took 2 3-pointers, which is not bad, but I don't his 3-point. I don't like him shooting threes when he shoots threes. He needs to widen his stance. His legs are too close together when he shoots. I get more on balance with that shot. But yeah, it was good to see. Ja finished with 21 and 10, which was good. In the third quarter, he just came out and after that play, the Jonas play, the whole team just picked up. Like, let's we know we can beat these dudes. Let's just go ahead and do what we got to do. And they did it.
Yeah, and we had the bench unit in, and the Wizards had their bench unit in, and they had it staggered to where it was Russ and Bertans in. And we basically had an all bench unit in except for Ja, but we had Justice guarding Russ and DeAnthony Melton on Bertans. And it's like, dang, you can't get away from elite defenders.
Exactly. That's exactly that's a really good problem to have for our team with the wing defenders that we have.
My notes to start the fourth quarter are Bertans sucks because he was doing all that whining and complaining. And I just feel like he didn't give them a lot, and they paid him 20 or 30 million. Like, I don't see that guy being a contributor to winning.
Me either, especially when he sit out there and take 7 threes. Like, he was taking deep threes too. Like, bro, like, what are you doing? I mean, he made 3 of them, so I guess that's good. But they're gonna need somebody. They're gonna need another piece, and who knows if they get that piece? Because I'm assuming this Russ's last year. Is he? No, he signed.
I think he's got one more.
Yeah. So, get right there. It was I didn't get a chance. I was eating dinner and not really paying attention to the fourth quarter that much because I knew we were up a little bit. But what I will say is, I only had one. The Tyus Jones minutes. He only had 15 minutes, and I wonder what his minutes are going to look like going forward, with obviously some of these games meaning a little bit more and Ja playing a little bit more. So we won't see as much of him, but I love Tyus as the floor general of our second unit, but also with having Winslow and Melton and all these other players capable of playing the point. Sometimes you might not see him when the lineups dictate, right?
Yeah, I mean, I waver back and forth on that because we've seen this team without Tyus in the bubble, and it was not pretty. So I don't. Right. He's the only Grizzlies player to play in every game this year, so we haven't seen the team or the bench unit specifically without him. Well, I mean, we saw the bench unit without him when he was starting, but you know what I'm saying. Like, so I'm just while I agree in principle that you can talk yourself into him being edged out of the lineup, I'm not so sure it works that easily. Honestly, I do it on 2K, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure Milton's ready to do it, and Justice still can. I mean, he had 13 shots tonight. I thought he kind of took Dylan's bad shot taking role tonight. But again, he's in those lineups, and like someone has to take the shot. But I just felt like he sought his shot a little too much, so it kind of worries me to give him full control as the point guard on that second unit.
I definitely wrote down Justice is shot hunting. He was one time he dribbled across the court just to get a shot. Like, he dribbled across the court, broke a play, and didn't pass anybody open just to get a shot off. Like, he looks kind of like he was out of it a little bit because he was doing some of his own shot hunting, which we can't have. Like, you got great continuity going with this team. Like, you just gotta get in where you fit in, bro, because this is looking good. This is looking good,
Well, Well, but the good thing is he didn't slack defensively. He still brought it there, and he still gave you 4 assists, more than anyone else off the bench, and 6 rebounds. So he's still the contributor, but just would like to see him kind of find more of his role in the offense. But and I think he does bring a lot of things that the team doesn't have. Like, we don't have anyone who can post up a smaller guard and score on them, or really play in that mid-range game like he likes to do. So it's just going to be a matter of time and him finding his way. Desmond Bane hit some more threes in the fourth quarter, gave him a career-high 20 points, and he hit 5 of 8. And like I said, his defense is getting better. He looks, as much as I like Melton, you can't disagree with, one, the analytics on the lineups when you have either Grayson or Bane in there. And even though Melton is our highest rated plus minus guy, I'm kind of nerding out right now. I've been looking at stats all Star weekend, but I don't think we're going to see Desmond Bane removed from the starting lineup anytime soon. And I'm okay with that because it's been working, and D'Anthony Melton is producing and doing it how he's doing off the bench. While I still think the upside is ridiculous for Melton, I'm not, going to be pushing for him to join the starting lineup. Kyle had a quiet game, but still gave you like 13, probably. I think he had 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and not a whole lot from him, but just a great game up and down.
Kyle is my guy. Kyle is like he's and I won't say that much about UCLA people, but he's so constant. And so I looked up one point, he had like 10 points. I was like, when did he score? You know what I'm saying? I didn't even know when he scored, but it was good to see him. He can figure out his way to put a stamp on the game, to put his input on the game in the other little ways. Like we had 13, 5, and 3, which is just as good, which is good. So it's interesting to see how he came back, and he was just quiet tonight, quiet under the radar, and did what he normally does, and just be solid. And that's just what you need from him.
Yeah, I mean, and once again, Westbrook and Bill had to fight for everything they got tonight.
I mean, even though Kyle into that defensive wing rotation that we were talking about,
and Brandon Clark, he can switch on the wings, and he can block your shot from the weak side. It's
a bunch of versatile players in that 2-3 format, in that 2-3-4 thing that we got that can match up with anybody. And so, when and if Jaren comes back, you throw him in there. He obviously won't be 100% when we first see him, but that's something that you can look forward to. And I mean, it won't be the same like suffocating defense that we saw in the grit and grind era, but it could still be a very good defensive team that teams are going to not like playing against. Like, it has been documented many times that in that era, people would say, shit, we coming to Memphis. Like, I don't want to go play them dudes. Or they come here. And so we might not be as physical and rough and tough as it was with Zach and Mark and TA. But with these guys, they got length, they got size, they got speed, and they got defensive IQ, which is something great that Kyle, Justice, and D'Anthony have to get in the passing lanes and to just defend you one-on-one. So I think I'm more excited about the defense from this team than I am from the offense.
Definitely. I mean, all those ingredients you just mentioned are the recipe for a great defense. So I'm not going to put a limit on them. I know the G&G defense was elite and great, but this defense has a chance to make its own name and be great in its own right and in the more modern day NBA. So it's not going to look exactly the same, but I think you're right. Like, the ceiling is unlimited on what these guys can be defensively, especially once Jaren is back. But I don't have anything else on this game. Should we get into the superlatives?
Let's get into some superlatives. Wait a minute. Is there anything else I want to put a bow on this? Are the Wizards a playoff team in the East?
I think so. I honestly don't think the Wizards played that bad tonight. I just think our defensive effort was to a level where it made it tough on them. Like, if you look at the turnovers and things, like they played pretty well. We just held them to 40% shooting, and threes didn't fall for them. So I think this team can make a run in the playoffs. I do wonder how the dynamic is with Russ and Beal and then all those foreign guys. Like, it's got to be a little weird in the locker room.
Their plane must be quiet. They be flying. Ain't nobody talking. Ain't no card games going. I will say that team, you can notice the difference. It's very noticeable when Russell is off the court. when Russ is off the court, the team plays differently, and that's when we started to got to kind of pulled away a little bit when Russ was off the court. It's very noticeable to see that. Very noticeable to see that.
And I mean, I think you were spot on when you said he had some pep in his step. Like it looked like the most rest he's had, and I mean, definitely all season. But he looked good, like he did in Houston before the shutdown.
Yep. So it's so interesting to see what these the NBA players are so in shape and in tune with their bodies. Like what a few days of literal rest and not doing anything can do. You know what I'm saying? Like you can just see it. But yeah, let's get to these superlatives. Mase, who was your player of the game?
Jaeger. I mean, you got to go Valanciunas, man. 29 and 20, 4 blocks, that game-changing dunk on Wagner, going at Robin Lopez all night, bringing the energy, and more importantly, I thought defensively, just being a rim protector. Sometimes Valanciunas can be out there defensively and just be big and not be a rim protector and not really do anything. But when his defensive effort is at the level it was tonight, he's not a negative defender all the time, I guess. Trying to say nice. Who you got?
Trying to say nice things. I'm going to go with Jonas myself. Like I don't even know. Like I said, I might have missed it in the broadcast, and if you don't know it, that's cool. Have we ever had a 30 and 20 game?
I want to say he did it last year.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure he did it last year.
Okay. Well, 29 and 20 is just close enough. I'll give you 30, my guy.
Right.
So yeah, Jonas is my player of the game. And I went back and listened to the show that we did, the last show we did when they played the Bucks, and I was calling Jonas Giannis because
you did it one time. One time.
I was like, what do you? Come on, brother. What's going on? All right, who was your bum of the game?
Bertans. He was a minus 14 in 20 minutes and one of the worst on his team. Complained the whole game and didn't do enough to complain. Like, he's out there fouling. Stop fouling and add something more to your team than just running off screens looking for shots. So I'm giving it to Bertans. You get paid too much to be a minus 14.
Stop fouling, make a shot. I too will go. It's a double bum. It's a bummy, a double bum. Bertans and then Robin Lopez.
because
Stanford.
It's tournament time.
It's tournament time, Pac-12. So bum and Stanford. All right, what was the play of the game for you?
I got two choices here, but I'm gonna go with the Valanciunas dunk on Wagner in the third quarter. I don't know how to say his last name. I said it like 4 different times. Wagner with Mo on Mo. So yeah, that dunk and just what it did to the momentum of the game. Because I think Brevin had just been talking about like momentum and how it was on the Wizards side, and then basically Valanciunas had a couple big plays culminating with that one, and then we went on the run. So that's my play of the game. What you got?
I'm gonna go with Brandon Clark's 2-hand dunk on a fast break.
Talk about kiss the rim.
He got up high. He got those days of rest did good for him too. They did well for him too, and he traveled too. He took like 6 steps. Did
you notice who wanted no parts of that?
Bertans?
It was the bum of the game. Yeah. Which, I mean, what's he going to do? I think he had 5 fouls. At that point, I just kind of expected him to take that foul and get out of the game the way he was playing.
He made a business decision. Like, you don't want to be on the other end of that. But no, it was good to see. Good to see Brandon get out on the wing and run and get one of them dunks. So that's what we used to see last year.
And one more play that we got to give mention to was Ja Morant's. He faked one way, then wrapped around the bounce pass to Xavier Tillman, faked Russ out. Just a great pass, and I'm sure we'll be seeing highlights of that for the rest of the season. But now, Jamal, the most important question of the night: did Jamal win any money?
We're going to start this second half of the season the same way we ended the first half of the season, baby. No, I ain't winning no money. I ain't winning no money today.
What'd you have?
I was very hopeful with these bets. First off, not even worried about this bet. The one bet that really I wasn't too mad about this. The one bet that really made me mad tonight. I had a teaser going on. It was a 4-point teaser. And it's going to end up costing me because Utah was a 8.5-point favorite over Washington in the first round of the Pac-12 tournament. I teased it down to 4.5, right? I teased it down to 4.5. Utah is up by 6 with 6 seconds to go. The score is 98-92. They make a free throw to make it 98-92. Washington gets the ball down by 6 with 6 seconds to go. They rush the ball up the court, shoot a 3 with 3 seconds to go, miss it, get the rebound, and dude just kind of chunks up another 3, and it goes in. And Washington ends up losing by 3 instead of 6, and that's going to make me lose this bet. So that was the bet that pissed me off the most today. But
that's tough.
No, come March, man. And so tonight I had I said that Kyle Anderson would score over 12 points. He did. That Jonas will head over 12 rebounds. He did.
Yeah.
That Desmond will have over 8.5 points. He did.
Yeah.
That Brandon Clark will have over 8.5 points. Brandon finished with what, 6? Which is like, that's not the norm for him, but you kind of got a feel in the first, when he came in the first quarter, and he didn't, because usually he's aggressive in the first quarter. He didn't get any shots. I think he only ended with a couple, like six shots. How many shots he ended up with? He only took 4 shots. So you can kind of tell early on he was just kind of feeling out the game. I still thought he would get 9 points, but he finished with 6. I said Dylan would get over 13.5 points. He finished with 10. I would much rather take Dylan's defensive performance on Bradley Beal than him, scoring those points or taking wild shots to try to get the points that he got. Say that Kyle Anderson to get over 4 rebounds, he did. That Jonas would have over 15 points, he did. That Brandon Clark would get over 4 rebounds, he finished with 10. And that Russ would have 8 rebounds or over 8 rebounds, and he finished with 5, I think. I should have did assists with Russ because he always he gets the assist number more than he gets the rebound number, and I don't know why I didn't think about. Maybe because it wasn't good value. That's probably what it was.
Well, you didn't know Valanciunas was going to snatch every rebound available either.
Right, I didn't think that Valanciunas was going to get 20 rebounds. So, like I said, obviously all the bets were reasonable and could be done, But hey, like I said, man, starting the second half off the same way we ended the first half with no money won.
Right. Well, I guess we'll be back Friday. We got a double show. Memphis Tigers first game of the AAC championship, and then the Grizzlies play host to the Denver Nuggets. So a really good test. You have the standings. Let's see. Let's pull the standings up. See where this win has us currently. So the Nuggets are 6th. They're 21-15. And the Grizzlies are still at 9th, 17-16. So only 2.5 games behind the Nuggets. So
and so we're still in the play-in range. It's gonna be interesting to see what New Orleans does, man. They got too much riding on this year to not be able to make the playoffs.
I mean, I don't. They can't do a whole lot, Like they can trade Bledsoe.
I don't even know they could trade him.
Yeah, I mean,
trade J.J. Redick,
but that's not going to bring you, a whole lot back. Maybe something for the future, a draft pick or something. But I'm not sure what they can do other than understand that Zion is their best player and go with that and see where that takes them. But I mean, not to slight Brandon Ingram, he's really good too, and I would love him to be, with John Jaren for the future. So go ahead and send him to us, and we'll send you some shooters or something.
Let's see what the Warriors see. So we got to hold off the Warriors. We got 2 wins on them in the loss, 2 up on them in the loss column. The Mavericks got a test by the Spurs tonight, where they ended up winning. The Spurs are going to fall. Spurs are definitely going to fall.
You think so?
I hope so. Maybe I'm projecting.
Yeah, I don't know. The Spurs just got guard. I feel like the Spurs are a lot like us. Like they got a bunch of players that can play, but we got guys better than Jakob Pertl and
Yeah.
whatever other random white dude they bring in off the bench.
It's
Eubanks.
amazing that it's amazing that the Spurs are always good. They got a team full of no names and they're in 7th place. They got DeMar DeRozan. They set LaMarcus Aldridge down, and they're like, who else? Jonte Murray is so inconsistent. They got, like
Derek White,
Derek White,
Lonnie Walker, Keldon Johnson,
and we got the tiebreak against them, right?
We beat them. We beat them twice, so we're up 2-0 on them. We probably got another game or two here in the second half against them.
Yep.
Cool. So it's us and them leading the division right now. Us, them, and the Mavs. So we got a race, man. We got a race. We haven't. I don't think we've ever won Southwest Division. I'm pretty sure we never have. So it'd be cool to do that. But we've got a long ways to go, man. We'll be back Friday after the Nuggets game. Y'all can find the audio version of the show, the podcast format, on Spotify or iTunes. Type in All Memphis Post Game. You'll find it. Give us 5 stars. Leave a review so other people can find it. And then y'all can find me on Twitter at BarnburnerSlim. Jay, where can they find you in the video version of the show?
They can find me in St. Louis. They can find me on Twitter at Nerdy McFly. They can find the show on Twitter at the Kickback 901. That's the Kickback. You can find it's all the same. And you can find us on Facebook at the Kickback Pod, Diamond in the Bluff Media, YouTube, or Diamond in the Bluff Media on Facebook. We are there. We are here after every Tigers and Grizzlies game. Don't know how many more Tigers games we got. Could be 2, could be 1, could be 2, could be 3, could be 4. We don't know. But
I'm with J.O., man. Tiger Bookstore. Get the presses ready. Print the shirts.
I already told y'all. I bet on the Tigers to win the AAC tournament. So we gonna be good. But with that being said, for Mase, I'm Jamal, and we are out.
Peace.